What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, my friends, we're going to be having a look at the 7 most overpowered weapons of all time in Fortnite. These weapons basically broke the game when they were introduced. Luckily now I think all these weapons have been either nerfed or just totally taken out of the game, which is just, you know, it's good. I'm still having nightmares about these weapons, as you know, I have flashbacks to when I was just getting destroyed by these overpowered weapons. Literally, you could have no skill, you could use these weapons and stuff, and you could basically win every gunfight and win games. It was absolutely insane. If you guys have any other, you know, weapons that I didn't add on this list, when you get to the end of the video, make sure you do drop a comment in the comment section below. I'd be interested to see what other overpowered weapons you guys experience. This is, I guess, my 5 personal, you know, most annoying and most overpowered weapons that I've experienced. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and smash the like button as well, subscribe to the channel, and also chuck on that notification bell to stay up to date with all my videos. And of course, lads, make sure to use the supporter creator code CosmosFTW inside of the item shop. I would really appreciate that. Without waiting long, let's go ahead and begin right now in our number 7 spot. So first up in our number 7 spot, I've actually got right here the plane. So the plane from Season 7, we saw it throughout the whole entire Season 7. And it was controversial to say the least. I think this was one of the most overpowered things. Fortnite tried to nerf this so much. It just wouldn't work. It just became worse, you know. When it first released, you had these overpowered weapons on the front. Like, you would just spraying damage towards players while rushing them. You could just knock down their buildings. It was honestly absolutely insane, the plane. And it really just melted through players. If you saw a plane coming after you straight after the game, you know you're basically dead. Because if you're in the middle of fighting someone, a plane hears you from in the sky, they're just going to rush you. You're screwed. It really messed over a lot of people. And a lot of people were outraged about this. And personally, I think this was one of the most OP things that we've seen in Fortnite, and I'm so glad it's been removed. So our number 6 spot is actually going to be the man himself, Thanos, or I guess the weapon is the Infinity Gauntlet. And yeah, man, this is one of the most OP things we have ever seen in Fortnite. Of course, we had that Thanos LTM, which I'm hoping is going to return when Endgame does release, and I'm really excited for that game mode to return. I'm also really excited to watch Endgame myself on, I believe it's April 26th, and yeah, dude, I'm really excited for this. I'm hoping it's going to return, and this guy was OP, of course. He had, like, different moves you could get. He had 1,000 overall health, which was absolutely insane, and I remember when they first released him, he had 500 shield, and he had 500 health, and that shield would regenerate, but that was way too OP, so they nerfed him a little bit, and he went to 500 normal health, and 700 normal health, and I believe it was 300 shield, so it kind of made it a little bit easier. He was really OP, except there were some things that were really weird about him. The laser, one of his moves, really didn't do much damage. Also, he was really vulnerable when he was just sitting up in the air for a long time, so that's why I guess he's a little bit lower on the list. I think he was still really OP, though, and he was only in a game mode as well, so, you know, the game mode, everyone in that game mode was going for him, so I guess that made him a little bit less OP. Nonetheless, though, Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet is one of the most OP things we've ever seen in Fortnite. Alright, so the number 5 spot, I've classified it as a weapon, but it really is not a weapon, if that makes any sense. But you guys will get what I mean. This is the Jetpack. I think I had to add this on the list. I guess I would count it as a weapon, as I guess you use it to help you kill enemies in Fortnite, and it's a, you know, an accessory that helps you kill people. So I think that the Jetpack, you know, it was just insanely OP. You'd pick up one of these things, you know, you don't even need to get mats, if I'm going to be honest. Like, you can just go flying around with this thing. You can outbuild people without even building with the Jetpack, and you know, that is saying something. That is something special about this Jetpack. I mean, when it released, people were just absolutely furious about it. Like, people were just going off about the Jetpack, man, wanting it to be removed. Thank the Lords they did remove it. I think it was pretty quickly. It was in the game for a little while, but Fortnite were on it, and, you know, it's been vaulted. We have seen game modes with it return, of course, but, you know, we haven't seen it in the main solo, duos, and of course squads game modes for a long time now, which I'm very, very happy with, because this thing was an absolute nightmare. You used to be able to, like, you used to try to build away, and then you just heard that noise of someone jumping up to you in a jetpack, and, you know, dude, there was no stopping anyone using a jetpack. And yeah, guys, that is there on our number 5 spot with the Fortnite Jetpack. Alright, so the number 4 spot, this thing, I really don't think it had to be removed. I think it could have been fixed. However, Fortnite did vault this. I'm hoping it does come back, because I really did like this weapon. However, grappler, I must admit, it was very OP, and, you know, bad players like me, it helped us out a lot. Now, this is, in our number 4 spot, the drum gun. The drum gun, bro, literally, man, you just spray this thing, you can just tear down walls, you can tear down bodies, you can just absolutely deal intense damage. You don't even need a shotgun, honestly. If you have a drum gun, you're basically set, because it had that massive clip, it had that, you know, massive amount of damage that it dealt, and it was overall just an amazing weapon, and, you know, it really just, I guess, discarded the use for any other SMG, because if you found yourself a drum gun, you're basically set. I wouldn't even mind if Fortnite brought this back in the game, but only as, like, a legendary variant, so it was a lot harder to get, because when it did release, there was, like, blue, there was a blue one, there was a green one, and, you know, they were pretty common to find. However, I think if Fortnite brought him back, maybe didn't make him as common, maybe nerfed him a little bit, I think that'd be really cool, as I do really like the drum gun as a weapon. Definitely one of my favorite weapons we've seen in Fortnite, and you guys can tell me in the comment sections, yes or no, do you guys want the drum gun to return? Personally, I do. I think it's a really, really cool gun, and yeah, it was a little bit too OP when it did first release, though, and it has been vaulted ever since. All right, now, our number 3 spot is kind of like the Jetpack. Now, this is just one of those no-skill things once again. Now, I love this so much. This is the only reason why I got wins back whenever this weapon was out. But this is actually the grappler, and, you know, the grappler won me games. I could not build. I still cannot build and compete against, you know, those top-level players. So I used to, you know, get the grappler and just grapple up to him. And I actually have pretty decent aim. I might not be the best Fortnite player. I might not have the best building and stuff, but I do have pretty good aim. I'll give myself that. So I used to literally just grapple up to people, and I'd pretty much destroy him after that once they can't outbuild me and stuff. And the grappler, it was way too OP, let's be honest, man. Like, dude, this thing was absolutely insane, and you would just really need no skill to use it at all. You just grapple up to someone, no matter how high they build. It was a really fun weapon to use, but once again, it probably shouldn't belong in the game. A little bit too OP, the grappler. It has been vaulted, just like most of the other weapons on this list, other than our number 2 spot, actually, which has just been nerfed, but we'll get to that soon. But man, the grappler in our number 3 spot there, definitely it was way too OP when it did release in the game, just like the Jetpack, man. Both of those things, you know, they're not really weapons per se, but they do, they're really OP, and they're items in Fortnite that go in your inventory, act as a weapon. So yeah, I'm going to count them both, and the Jetpack and the grappler, man. Absolutely crazy guns, and the grappler, I would say, probably is a little bit more OP than the Jetpack, just because, you know, the Jetpack was a little bit slow, but the grappler, no, that was not slow at all. That was just, it was hectic when the grappler was in the game, man. And yeah, guys, that's in our number 3 spot right there. Now, guys, our number 2 spot, I gave a couple of hints away throughout the previous parts of the video. However, in our number 2 spot right here, guys, the big reveal, the Deagle, or the hand cannon, whatever you do want to call it. I think that this weapon, it was probably one of the most OP weapons of all time, and I think especially if you had this in the hands of a pro player, you know, they were going to be unstoppable. If you had a shotgun and a Deagle, you were basically unstoppable. There was no stopping you. Basically, you know, building was irrelevant when this Deagle or this hand cannon was in the game, as it would one-tap, I think, was it every building? I think it was every building. Then they changed it, they nerfed it, and they made it only wood, and even when it was one-tapping wood still, it was still insanely OP. So they changed it now, and it doesn't one-tap any you know, material, which makes it a lot better now. It's a lot less OP, but when it was just, you know, one-shotting through every material, no matter what, it was just insane. You couldn't hide, you couldn't cover yourself, because there was always a pro player with a Deagle after you, man. And, you know, it was not a fun time. I still like the Deagle now. I just really like it as a weapon. I think it's really cool. I like, even though you can't use it like you used to be able to use it, I think it's a really fun weapon to use. And, yeah, man, this thing was so OP back in the day. And, yeah, guys, it's there in our number 2 spot. All right, lads, the number 1 spot on the list. Oh, my God. This thing was really in the game not for long at all. And thank the Lords for that. Guys, our number 1 spot is the Infinity Blade. Now, this blade, this thing is insane. You guys remember it? It was over in, you know, the Polar Peaks area, and you would, I remember when this came out, everyone just went to Polar Peaks. If you get your hands on this blade, you've got the highest chance of winning the game. I remember me and my mate ran duos. We got the Infinity Blade. We won every time, because you had my mate with the Infinity Blade, and I was backing him up with my normal guns and stuff. It was way too overpowered. I was so surprised when they did release this update that they, you know, put this weapon into, like, normal pubs, like into solos, duos, and squads, not like its own game mode. I think that was a massive mistake by Fortnite there, because this thing was way too OP. It really just, like, kind of ruined games for a while. It was the most annoying thing, and yeah, thank God it was being taken out. I wouldn't mind it in, like, its own game mode, like the Thanos LTM. But when they put it in like solos and stuff, this thing was just impossible to handle. It was way too OP, you know, it did so much damage. You could get like from one side of the map to the other in literally like a couple of seconds. That's how fast this thing was. You could go flying with it, man. And yeah, of course, this weapon, not in the game anymore. And I would say this is the most overpowered weapon we've ever seen in Fortnite Battle Royale. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to go ahead and end off my video there today. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any other, weapons you want to add to this list, make sure to tell me in the comment section below. I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say. Make sure you smash the like button as well, subscribe to the channel, and also be sure to chuck on that notification bell to stay up to date with all my videos coming in the future of the channel. And lads, if you haven't already as well, support a creator code CosmosFTW in the item shop. Shout out to everybody that's using my code. And yeah, I'll see you all in tomorrow's video, lads. Peace.